I definitely don't want to have kids. Like, that's something I've thought a lot about and came to the conclusion that kids, not for me. But whenever I say that to people, people will, like, call me selfish. Have you ever heard that? People go, oh, you don't want kids, you're just being selfish. What? Not wanting a baby is not selfish. It would be selfish if I wanted your baby, you know? One time I had a lady say to me, well, you can't love a kid until you have one. Yeah, but if you don't have one, you can hate all of them, all right? The worst thing people say when it comes to kids is they say the act of childbirth is beautiful. It's such a beautiful act. Wrong again. Because when I was in 5th grade, I had a sex education class at my school where we had to watch documentary footage of a woman giving birth, and that suggested otherwise. That is still the most terrifying thing I have ever seen in my life. 10 years old. We made 10-year-olds watch a woman giving birth. Like, The Shining ain't got nothing on that pregnancy video. It was way too young to be watching that. 10 years old? I know it was too young to be watching that, because true story from my life, there was a kid in my class who couldn't handle it. In the middle of the video of a woman giving birth, he threw up into his hand, looked around to see if anybody else saw, and then put it in his pocket. Beautiful things don't make people do that. Never in the history of the world has somebody been like, oh my God, this sunset is so beautiful. Look at the reds and blues. I'm just gonna be a good uncle, you know? Like, that's cool. I'll just be a good uncle. I went to my niece's 1-year-old birthday party recently. I had to buy her a gift, so I went to this toy store near my house. And the employee was like, can I help you pick something out? And I was like, oh yeah, sure, thanks, man. And he was like, how old is she? And I was like, oh, she's turning 1. And he was like, well, what is she like? What's she into? And I was like, oh, did you hear the one part? Like, what is she into? I don't know, like breathing, staring at a wall, not being shaken. Like, super into not being shaken. I think that's like her number 1 weekend hobby, you know what I mean? And he picked up this one toy, and it was like this kind of like boxy thing. It had colors on different sides. You could put things in it, you could take things out of it, made crinkling noises. I look at the price tag, $50. $50. And I was like, oh, sir, I don't know why I blanked earlier when you asked me like what my niece is into. I totally just remembered what my niece is into. My niece loves things under $10. So if you could point me in that direction.